Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled Judgment of Others. Most of the judgments you make about other people are just reflections of parts of yourself that you're unwilling to confront. You don't want to look inward, so you toss it onto someone else. You say things about people's choices, their appearance, their actions, as if you somehow have authority over them. But it's just a mirror. And ask yourself this: where does indulging in judgment actually get you? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. It's no coincidence that those who spend their lives judging others are always sitting down, always in front of a screen or a desk, observing from the sidelines instead of moving forward. Judgment is passive. Action is forward. Action is movement. Think about it. You've all seen it. People critiquing someone else's work, their decisions, their accomplishments. And what do? They sit there, making comments, scoffing, shaking their heads. But they aren't doing anything themselves. They haven't stepped onto the field. They haven't tried. They don't know the struggle, the discipline, or the effort it takes to achieve something in the first place. Yet they act like they understand what's acceptable, what's right, what's perfect. They talk about a choice or a performance or a skill as if their words can define it. They can't. They don't. And the more they try, the more ridiculous it becomes. So stop. Just stop. Stop assessing other people from the sidelines and start focusing on your own actions. You haven't done 100th of what they're doing, and yet you feel qualified to critique. It's absurd. You don't know the work, the discipline, the circumstances, or the risks. So keep your mouth shut and do your own thing. Make your own mistakes. Take your own risks, and experience your own victories and failures. That's where learning happens. That's where growth happens. That's where life happens. When you let judgment rule your mind, it drains energy. Think about it. Every second you spend dissecting someone else's choices, every minute you waste thinking about what's right or wrong for someone else, is time stolen from your own progress. That's energy that could be used to move forward, to improve yourself, to take action. But instead, it's trapped in commentary, gossip, criticism, and comparison. That's poorly used energy. Absolutely poorly used energy. And energy, ladies and gentlemen, is everything. It is your most precious resource. Use it wisely. Do not squander it on people whose lives you cannot live and whose experiences you will never understand. Criticism will always come. People will always have opinions. Some of it will come from those with experience, from people who have actually done the work, who have earned the perspective to offer meaningful feedback. That is valuable. That is useful. But the slander, the negativity, the judgment that comes from people who haven't stepped onto the field themselves, ignore it. It is meaningless noise. Let it roll off you. It doesn't define you. It doesn't determine your success. It doesn't affect your progress unless you allow it to. You have to understand where criticism comes from. You have to understand the mindsets of those who judge without knowing. It's rooted in fear, insecurity, or boredom. People criticize because they cannot measure up, because they do not know how to do, and because they find amusement or relief in making others feel small. It's exhausting to even think about. And yet so many allow it to distract them. Don't be that person. Don't waste your mental energy trying to dissect others' lives. You'll never know their story. You'll never know their struggles. You'll never understand their full context. And when you start to recognize this, when you start to fully grasp that judgments are reflections of insecurities and not facts, it changes everything. You realize that your life is yours to live, that your energy, your focus, your time, your attention must be directed at yourself. You cannot let the opinions of bystanders, of naysayers, of people sitting safely on the sidelines dictate your choices, your progress, or your success. You live for you. Nobody else lives for you. Nobody else determines your path. Nobody else defines your limits. So what does this look like in practice? It means you stop comparing yourself to others. It means you stop worrying about whether someone else approves of your decisions. It means you stop trying to predict or manage other people's perceptions. It means you take your energy, which is finite, and direct it at movement, at action, at creation, at growth. You focus on your own game, your own progress, your own life. That is where success, fulfillment, and peace reside. Not in the commentary, not in the judgments, not in the opinions of people who will never walk in your shoes. It also means accepting your own path, your own pace. Life isn't a race measured by other people's standards. Your victories do not need to be validated by anyone else. Your progress does not require external approval. As long as you're moving forward, learning, growing, and challenging yourself, you are succeeding. The rest is irrelevant noise. The faster you internalize this, the faster you release the burden of judgment, the faster you reclaim your energy, the faster you move toward your own level of greatness. And when I say your level of greatness, I mean it literally. I'm not talking about anyone else. I am talking about you and the person you have the potential to become if you stop letting judgment get in the way. Your path, your effort, your focus, that is all that matters. So remember, judgment is easy. Doing is hard. Critiquing is passive. Acting is forward. Energy is precious. Use it on yourself. Live for yourself. Move for yourself. Your life is your own. Nobody can hold you back unless you allow them to. And anyone who tries, they are merely spectators. Let them watch while you take action. Let them sit on the sidelines while you play the game. Keep moving. Keep doing. Keep growing. And everything else, let it fall away. This concludes this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Thank you for listening. Signing out. Goodbye for now.